I have been covering what I believe are some of the best ETFs for maximizing dividend income and growth with an emphasis on minimizing downside risk. Now, one trend has become impossible to ignore, and that is the explosive rise of high-income ETFs, especially covered call ETFs. They have become core holdings in many investors' portfolios. And most of these ETFs follow a similar playbook. They sell call options on their underlying holdings to generate premium income, which is then distributed to investors as dividends with yields often exceeding 10%. This provides strong and steady cash flow for income-focused investors. But income isn't the only benefit. This premium income also acts as a natural cushion, helping to smooth out volatility and offset drops in stock prices. Now, the most popular covered call ETFs typically focus on major indices like the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq 100. And that means their underlying holdings are nearly identical with similar stock weightings and exposures. But every so often, you come across ETFs that break the mold. Some try to differentiate by handpicking their own stock basket, but unfortunately, many of them fall short. The selection process often lacks strategy, it's lazy, but then there are a few standout funds, ETFs that strategically and intentionally select stocks to pair with their income strategy. And that kind of thoughtful process paired with a covered call overlay can create a serious edge. Now, I usually like to watch ETFs for a while, let them prove themselves before thinking about investing in them. And I have had my eyes on one fund in particular that has so far really impressed me. Not only has it delivered strong total returns with powerful capital appreciation, but it has also done so with impressive downside protection. And that combination is very rare. And it all comes down to how strategic the fund managers are. Instead of simply following a basic market cap weighted index, this ETF applies two of my favorite and most powerful stock selection strategies, earnings growth and cash flow, then layers it with a tactical covered call strategy. Whether you're a growth investor or income investor, these are two of the most reliable fundamentals to focus on. Why? Because strong earnings growth signals a company's ability to scale its business, improve profitability, and deliver sustainable performance over time. And consistent cash flow shows operational efficiency, the ability to generate real, recurring money regardless of short-term noise. Together, they paint a picture of a business that isn't just thriving today, but one that is built to endure. And when you're investing for the long term, these are the traits that matter most. Now, I've talked about today's ETF before, but I have recently uncovered a hidden attribute that makes this fund stand out even more. And after watching how it performed during the recent V-shaped volatility we experienced in the market, I believe its future potential is even stronger than I originally thought. But I have to be honest, I did get something wrong about this ETF. There's one part that is not what it seems, and it has to do with its so-called tax efficiency. I thought it was top tier, but after digging deeper, I did find a little trick that some ETFs use that can seriously mislead investors. I'll explain exactly what this is later in the video, and trust me, you'll want to know this before you buy. And this brings me to QDVO, which is the Amplify CWP Growth and Income ETF. Now, since inception, QDVO has been crushing its peers, and not by a small margin. The outperformance is genuinely impressive. When you see an ETF delivering strong returns, high income, and better drawdown protection, it is definitely one to pay attention to. And just to be clear, QDVO is best compared to other high-income ETFs that base their portfolios on the Nasdaq 100, since it follows a similar framework. QDVO was launched in August 2024, so it's still a very new ETF, but since then, the fund's growth has been staggering. Every time I check in, its assets under management have practically doubled, up from just $95 million the last time I reviewed it. And that kind of momentum is a great sign, because as the fund grows, so does its liquidity, which means it becomes a lot easier for investors to buy in or exit positions without facing wide bid-to-ask spreads or hefty transaction costs. Now, aside from ETFs, when it comes to portfolio construction, I like to complement my allocations with individual stocks as well. One of my favorite tools for this is ProPix AI. This feature builds model portfolios based on different strategies, and it is designed to outperform benchmarks. And there are many powerful portfolio options you can choose from, such as tech titans, Warren Buffett's top 15, healthcare heroes, small cap sprinters, or the S&P 500 value portfolio. Every portfolio includes a detailed breakdown of each stock's financial health, earnings, cash flow, valuation, and even timestamps of when the position was opened or closed. Right now, they are running a flash sale where you can get up to a 55% discount. And if you use my link in the description, you can stack an extra 15% off on top of that. This sale is only for a limited time, so if you've been thinking about upgrading your research tools, this is a great time to grab Investing Pro at the lowest price available. Investing Pro gives you access to a massive database of global stocks and ETFs, which is backed by deep financial data, research tools, portfolio analytics, and both technical and fundamental insights. You'll also find portfolios from top fund managers like Ray Dalio and Warren Buffett, which you can analyze or even replicate directly inside the platform. As always, past performance is not indicative of future results, and this is not financial advice. I am simply sharing one of the tools I personally use to enhance my own research. Another one of my favorite features is Warren AI, which is like their version of ChatGPT, but with access to a real financial database. So when you ask it a question, the response isn't just surface level, it is backed by actual data and analytics from their system. There's a lot to explore inside the platform, and if you'd like to check it out, you can use my link or code Victoria Media to get an additional 15% off, for a total savings of up to 70% off. Currently, QDVO has a dividend yield of around 10%, which is in line with other high-income ETFs. The fund's expense ratio is 0.56%, which sits on the higher end, but that is to be expected with actively managed ETFs, especially those using a covered call overlay. However, it is still lower than many of its competitors, including funds like QQQI and SPYI. Now, here's where it gets interesting. When you dig into QDVO's portfolio breakdown, you'll start to notice some very strategic choices that really set it apart. First of all, as I mentioned earlier, you have to compare this fund's holdings directly to the QQQ, as that is the most relevant benchmark. One of the first things you'll notice is that QDVO allocates only about 46% of its portfolio to technology compared to 55% in QQQ. That is a meaningful difference. But what really stands out is where that extra allocation goes. QDVO has a much heavier tilt towards communication services and financials, along with healthcare and industrials. So when you take QDVO's high-tech exposure and blend it with these defensive growth sectors, you get a more balanced, risk-averse portfolio that still has strong upside potential. Looking at individual holdings gives us even more insight. Yes, QDVO holds many of the same big tech names, but its weightings are far more intentional. For example, it gives over 12% allocation to NVIDIA compared to just 9% in QQQI. And this shows that the fund managers aren't blindly following market cap weightings, they are actively identifying which companies are likely to outperform and allocating accordingly. Now, to be fair, QDVO only holds around 40 stocks, which may raise concerns about concentration risk. And we saw that impact the fund in the recent sell-off in March, as it underperformed peers like QQQI by a slight margin. But on the upside, the concentration helped QDVO to achieve superior upside recovery during this insane market rally we've seen over the last month. So, in my opinion, there's always going to be some sort of trade-off when you actively select stocks. But remember that the fund is concentrated around companies with strong earnings growth and cash flow. That gives it a quality bias and, in my view, compensates for the limited number of holdings. On top of that, its covered call strategy helps reduce volatility, which adds another layer of risk management. So let's get to the most important question. How does this ETF actually work? I mean, how has it been able to provide such powerful total returns while still generating a 10% dividend yield? Well, to begin, the fund has two components. The first is its active stock selection process, and the second is its tactical covered call strategy. Now, looking at its prospectus, this image describes how the fund strategy works. And as mentioned earlier, it starts with a portfolio of large cap growth equities with historically strong earnings and cash flow characteristics. Now, the second step is something that I initially overlooked. However, in my opinion, it adds an even stronger edge to the ETF. It states that the fund maintains a balanced allocation across various GICS sectors, with CWP actively deciding which sectors to overweight or underweight based on multiple factors. In other words, the portfolio isn't just focused on strong individual stocks, it's also shaped by a macro-level strategy. The managers consider market trends, economic indicators, and valuations when adjusting sector weights across areas like healthcare, tech, and industrials. This gives the ETF a broader perspective. Now, the truly amazing part about this ETF is its covered call strategy, which is also why the fund saw such powerful growth so far. You see, almost every other high-income ETF out there is selling call options on the index they track, and in the case of funds like QQQI or JEPQ, they sell call options on the Nasdaq 100 index. which means that the outcome of those call options, whether they are successful trades or losing trades, is all dependent on the performance of the entire index. And as we know, covered call strategies limit upside potential. So by selling call options on the entire index, you are limiting the upside of every single underlying stock. But what if certain stocks are subject to more growth potential than others? The last thing you want to do is cap their upside in exchange for a little bit of income. That is why QDVO is using a tactical call writing strategy. So instead of selling call options on every single stock within its holdings, the fund managers are choosing specific stocks that, in their opinion, are better suited for it. This selective approach allows specific stocks to appreciate without any cap. And that is another reason why this ETF was able to provide superior growth relative to its peers. But on top of that, when you combine income generation with tactical stock selection, it's clear that the fund isn't solely relying on yield to cushion downside risk. It's the combination between the two that makes the difference. And that is exactly why it outperformed many of its peers during the April sell-off. Now, the fund managers could make mistakes and cap the growth of a stock that could be subject to extreme growth. But frankly, every covered call ETF is subject to the individual fund manager's decisions. Now, here's where I made a mistake about this fund's tax efficiency, and every investor needs to pay close attention. As I've explained before, many high-income ETFs distribute what's called return of capital as part of their dividends. In simple terms, that means a portion of your own invested money is being returned to you, and since that's not considered income, it is not taxed when received. However, once your adjusted cost basis reaches zero, any further return of capital is taxed as long-term capital gains. And that's usually much more favorable than paying taxes at your regular income bracket. So the higher the percentage of a fund's dividend classified as return of capital, the more tax efficient it is. Now, here's where things take a turn. Most funds report this breakdown on a document called the 19A1 notice. For QDVO, those notices show over 90% of its dividends classified as return of capital. That sounds great, right? But here's the catch. At the bottom of that very form, it says shareholders should not use the information for tax reporting purposes. And I assumed the difference would be minor, but it wasn't. The real report you need to look at is the primary layout report, essentially the ETF's final tax breakdown for the year. And this is what matches your 1099 diff from your broker. And when I looked at QDVO's, the reality was very different. Out of the 74 cents per share distributed in 2024, 67 cents was taxed as ordinary dividends, 10 cents was qualified dividends, and only about 7 cents was actually return of capital. So while the 19A1 notice claimed over 90% ROC, the final tax report showed far less. Only around 11% was return of capital, while 14% was qualified dividends and around 75% was regular income. Many ETFs don't even provide this detailed breakdown, so I appreciate Amplify's transparency. But it is critical for investors to know that the 19A1 notice is not the final word. Always verify the final year-end tax report before assuming a fund's tax efficiency. So overall, QDVO, in my opinion, has the potential to become one of the strongest covered call ETFs in the market. And given its recent performance, I think its future is very bright and I expect its AUM to continue to grow. And that is all for this one. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye! This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not financial, investment, tax, or legal advice. Discussions of ETFs, investing strategies, market updates, or specific funds are general, not tailored to your financial situation, and should not be relied upon for decision-making. Investing involves significant risks, including total loss of principal, and past performance does not guarantee future results. I am not a registered financial advisor. My content reflects personal research and publicly available information. I may earn affiliate commissions from mentioned products or links disclosed per FTC guidelines, but these do not influence my opinions. Always consult a licensed financial professional and verify information independently. By watching this, you agree I am not liable for any losses or consequences from your actions. International viewers should consult local regulations.